Work? Hello. I was supposed to have the camera like pre-positioned so that like it fades in and then comes back to me. Hello everybody. Welcome to episode 42 of Drive-In Saturday. Hey, it's Din22. Din22, I want to tell you, the comic you did was really funny. So hey, how's it going, Cyburns? Let me get a link for you. But let me I don't want to show it because he may not be ready to show it yet, but this is the comic. It has like some guys talking, and then a dragon jumps out, and he's like, "Rah!" And then they just start laughing. The guys in the first panel, and the dragon is hurt, and it says, "Why are you guys laughing?" And then the next panel he goes, "Is it because I'm fat?" Oh, that was good. Hey, it's Pisces Rising Press as well. Hang on, let me grab a link here. Copied. I got to figure out how to get it to you. I got to open up Gilded. Okay. Lots of stuff going on. I just sent off an invoice with some finished stuff in it, which is cool. I want to do some pre-drawing stuff. I got some sketch covers from Rocket Ship Evan, and I want to sketch one and send it back to him. I don't know if I'll get that done here. Hang on. I got to copy this and send it. Wait. But I hope everybody else is having a great weekend. I've been messing around with modded Minecraft. Like I got into modding Minecraft. Here's a link. And I definitely have some favorites with that. Also, I've got a brand new page of Corbeau that does not have the lettering yet, so it's tough when I do that because I got to be closer in. This is very rough looking, and there's not a whole lot going on just yet. But it's one of those things. So this is how I make comics. I don't write the script beforehand. I have an outline. I know what's going to happen on each page. And this page, this is the page where Aura is going to do this supernova burst where she explodes herself to destroy these dimensional portals. And then we have this thing at the back. Aura, no! It's a big emotional moment. But have I actually written the text? No, I have not. You're too late. He's going to explain. You have to explain things in comics. The explanations have to be not explicit, but in the art, and then also, you have to make sure everybody knows what's going on. So, the pylons throughout this base are all part of the portal. There's no way. Maybe that's another line. Maybe that goes in its own. It's going to go in its own thing here. Let's see. 9. And then the next part, there's no way you can stop us from taking over Earth. Primitive stage of technology. So this was the danger all along. Ape Legion was setting up this thing where they could, hang on. Come on, man. Here's the problem. There it is right there. There it is right there. Okay. So the reason I do the texting and stuff at this stage in the roughs is so that you can determine the sizes, but also you want to guide the reader through the flow of the panels. So you want it to go this way, right? You want the reader to go and see. I want them to see Cersei, see the dimensional portal powering up, etc. And you want to have all that stuff. So I try not to like write it out beforehand. I know that's the acceptable way now, is to have like a full like Hollywood style script where you have everything on there. But that's not how I do it. And the other problem is making sure the size is correct. And in this case, I think I'm okay on the size. This might be a bit big, but I can put the, maybe over here for her line. I found this out the hard way when I was trying to collaborate with somebody really early on when I was trying to figure out comics, and didn't leave enough room for lettering, and that other person was kind of annoyed with me. So, all right. So we'll leave that for there right now. We might get to it, but I also want to do, let's use this right here. This stack. This is my Tunnels and Trolls stack. Let's use 11 by 16. I need to find some reference, but I'm going to do a Darkwing Duck. Are LOL part of the, are all a part of the portal? Maybe I did I spell it wrong? It happens a lot. Pretty common of me to typo something at that stage. Whoops, not this one. It's Dintu too. You spotted it. LOL. All right, hang on. Are all ALL part of the portal? There's no way you can stop us. That's the idea there. And then all would also be the word that we bold right here. I would probably catch this. I don't always catch the typos. You were being honest. Like, I just don't understand what he means. Well, it's nonsense. That's why. So, all right. So if I had written this correctly, throughout this base, there's pylons. There's one that she sees when she gets out. I think it's right here. There it is right there. So she sees this pylon, and there's other pylons too. And they're all part of this base. And the idea is to, well, I'll show you even more of the insidious plot of the Ape Legion. The Ape Legion's plan is way over here on like page 8 or something like that. They have all these different points where they can invade the Earth. Paris 1789, London 1851, New York 1929, and then your time 1939. And he was hoping to invade in 1939 with the Ape Legion, just because they would have more infrastructure and the most, in their opinion, possibilities, and they wouldn't be having to face modern weaponry with their war ape robots. Well, so he's got it set now for 1789, and so the idea is they're going to invade in 1789, and the problem is, and they activate the portal, boom. But Corbo's going to try and blow it up, and he thinks he just has to blow up like one thing, and it turns out he's got to blow up the entire base, which he doesn't have the ability to do. But what they're not counting on is she does have the ability actually to blow up the whole thing. And she's going to do this supernova attack. And I don't know if you can see her. I've got her like disintegrating. Like she's going to like sacrifice herself. And there's going to be a big explosion. And I think it's because I actually didn't. There's one of the days when I was drawing this, when I took the sound off and made it like a speed, like a fast one, like a 2-minute, just speeding through. But I was talking about it. But basically, it's going to explode, and all the dimensional energies are going to flood out, and then the my idea is the air sub with Corbo in it is going to get shot through time and space like the TARDIS. You don't know where it's going to go. Hey, howdy, Paul Pate. How's it going? Everybody, check out Paul Pate. He's got a comic that you can see almost every week or even every couple of days. Maybe it's every 4 days. I think I've caught a page on Instagram. Let me make sure I can get the right name. Oh, Greg Gillis is drawing something too. That's really cool. Paul, I'm explaining it's Paul Pate Comics. That's the one you want to follow. That's the one you want to follow. All right, so I'm explaining the plot line of this nonsense story about dimensional travel. All right, well, anyways. She's going to do this sacrifice play. Everything's going to explode. They end up, there's going to be a massive explosion. It's just a full page splash on the next page. I haven't drawn the next page yet. And the idea would be they're outside of time and space. I'll make a little banner. They have these little banner things in StreamYard where like I have one for Sideburns. Boom, I can always do that one. I'll make one for you too. Hang on, create a banner. Check out Paul Pate Comics on Instagram to follow Detective Perez. Hang on. There we go. Now I can pull that up anytime. I don't know how much if they limit those things. Example banners. Maybe it's at Paul Pate Comics. I could edit that. Well, anyways, there was an old Doctor Who episode for the second Doctor, which is Patrick Troughton back in the black and white era. You can catch this all on Tubi right now. But it's called The Mind Robber. And in the Mind Robber, they somehow end up outside of time and space, and they end up in this really crazy realm where like ideas become reality, and it's all the first person to have gotten there was like this children's book author. So he built all these book worlds, and Doctor Who has to go from book world to book world. I want to do something like that. I'm not going to use that exact idea, but I like the idea of the complete like nonsense world that Corvo has to go to. And also I like this idea of a big emotional sort of Dark Phoenix dies sacrifice. And then I've had this thing going on for a while, this idea, like she's a Titan, she has these crystal things that are drawn as part of her character. And she's described as an energy being. And one of the things that I've planned for her is this is not her real form. Her real form, the only physical part is these crystals. So that when she gets blasted to pieces, you're going to think she's gone, but actually you'll see the crystals drop down and they're going to get recovered. And this goes all the way back to her first appearance, which is in the second Corbeau comic. Let's see if I can find it. The second Corbeau comic, which has its own kind of weird history in that, there it is right here. I wish these things had dates on them. In the second Corbeau comic, she was manipulating radio waves to try and get him in there. And there's this other villain, this other bad guy. But where is she? There she is. And she kind of gives a little bit of the backstory. There's those crystals. Yeah, back then I drew them as 5. It's really supposed to be 3. I've changed it to 3. All right. Well, anyways, so that's a little bit about the thing we're going to attempt. But I need to do this sketch cover. So the question is, where do I get a Darkwing Duck reference? I got one somewhere. I can probably bring one up online. Darkwing Duck. I thought maybe I'd try and draw them digitally first. Oh no. What would be a good way to do this? You know, it might be a fun way to do like a sketch cover is to find another semi-famous comic and do the exact same cover, but instead of the main character, you would use Darkwing Duck. So let's see. If I go to Google, hang on. Let's share my screen and do this. Maybe she ages, her crystals fall out. Like, okay, well, that's pretty funny. Do I use Post-it? It's like everything went dark for a second, but I'm still here. All right, hang on. We're gonna share my screen. Is this? I'm gonna share this screen. And how about that? Or this? Present screen. Darkwing Duck. Okay. So it's not really Darkwing Duck that I need right now. It's actually, I need some other cover, which I think would be cool. So let me find, I'm going to click on Google image search. It's a little bit better than, I use Brave as my normal browser. Wow, look at all these Darkwing Ducks. These are all kind of, that one's cool right there. But rather than copy one that's already there, let's make something new, but also retro by finding some stuff like famous Silver Age Marvel covers. I think there's a website, in fact, called Cover Browser. Oh, if I put Silver Age and I ended up getting Silver Surfer, but let's find something that looks kind of cool. I don't know if I want a Marvel cover. Maybe I need to do. Well, it might be cool to put my own character there with Darkwing Duck as well. How about this? Okay, let's try this one. Coverbrowser.com. And I'm going to find, let's look up Shazam. Shazam would be a good one. he's shining the Pharaoh guy's like shoes here. That's hilarious. All right. Hang about. Yeah, Spider-Man, Darkwing Duck. But I want to use one of my own characters too. So it's I'm looking for something where I might be able to do both, where I could put Darkwing Duck. Although Darkwing Duck doesn't really fit with Shazam. Maybe I should do it with something else. I could do, I'm thinking about like X-Men or Avengers. Spider-Man would be a good one. I've done a Defenders one before. The modern era is not for me. I want something kind of oldish. Kind of vintage looking. Of course, I love the X-Men. Let's see. Or Conan the Barbarian. And that would be a cool one. This was a cool era, the Claremont era. Sort of the end of the Claremont era. That's a great one. I think that's Frank Miller. Who's that one? I can't tell. All right, well, anyways. No, stop. Okay. If we do Spider-Man, so the best ones to go for are the Romita era ones. Like there's one where he's walking away, or the one where he's throwing the Spider-Man suit in the trash can or something like that. Those would be funny to do. Let's see. Return of the Punisher. Also, I don't want to make it too difficult. This would be a funny one to do. I don't have a tentacle hero that would work really well with that, but maybe. That's an incredible Ditko cover right here. This is totally. Is that a Ditko cover? It's not. It's meant to look like a Ditko cover. It's not. That's issue 67. So, I'm not sure I've ever seen that one. Just because it's Darkwing Duck, it should be kind of melodramatic, but in a funny way, I'm thinking. The classic web slinging pose. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Although I will say this. Okay, so this might sound somewhat controversial. I hate poses. Like that's what comics have been reduced to at this point. The characters are never even appear unless they're in like some kind of set pose and they're just staring off into space. And that's because, you know, people don't do sequentials anymore. They just do pinups, and that's all they, that's the only way they understand the characters of these poses. That looks like Ditko. Is that not Ditko? It's 292. I wonder. Making me wonder. There's a that's the Todd McFarlane one. There's a little Paladin. All right. This is not getting me anywhere. This is not getting me anywhere. If I go back to X-Men, or Fantastic Four, maybe. So the classic Fantastic Four is issue 1 where oh, that's such a cool one. Fantastic Four where he's got the giant monster. Let's go all the way to number 10 here. That's not helping. I think we could say that I've lost track of comics. Oh, I didn't know that was their name in Spanish. Los Four Fantásticos. Very cool. All right, hang on. Four. Oh, wait. This is kind of cool. This is issue 44. Okay, open image in new tab. Where crawls the lizard? Okay. And unfortunately, it's going to be a little scary. This is a purple background. Yeah, you got to go old school for comics. I completely agree, Turco. Oh, what website is this? Coverbrowser.com. Coverbrowser.com. No, it's here, let me show you. I don't know. Oh, you can't see my URLs. I'll put it on here. Cover browser. That one, if you can see it. All right. I like this one. So, and I also still need a like a Darkwing Duck reference. So let me reduce this opacity, and I'll try to hang on about. I want something where you can. The problem is it doesn't let you see like both things. So, all right, well that's fine. Let's. We're gonna do something like that. Let me also find Darkwing Duck. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Darkwing Duck. I'm not finding him. I want to find like a Darkwing Duck. There it is. Google search. That's what I'm looking for. Tuco rather. Yes, absolutely you can, and I'll show you how to do it. Actually, let me do that real quick. I'm going to show you the reference that I'm going to get. I got it off of Amazon. Amazon.com. And this is the one I settled on for the reference. Darkwing Duck. Not Darkening Duck. Darkwing Duck. Don't do me any favors. Okay, I'm going to use this one right here because it looks like he's kind of in a pose, like he's a little bit dynamic. Save to photos, right? And then over here, you go to Canvas, Reference, Image, Import, and you just pull it right off of your camera roll. And you can make it bigger if you want to. So let's make it a little bit bigger. I made it a little bit too big. But I also want him, like, I want him kind of coming down from the corner here like that. So, but I don't know if I'm going to get him like that. I think that his hat and his cape are gonna, like, if I show him from behind, you get is hat and cape. So I've got to do something else. So if I do something like that, maybe like this is the, is that Darkwing Duck enough? I don't know if it is. This won't be the final. The final is going to have to be drawn on here. The project is okay. So the idea is we're going to try and get a sketch cover done for this Darkwing Duck issue. Yeah, you share your screen. It makes it too okay. And I've not really done much in the way of, oh wow, so there's great Darkwing Duck references in the comic. I'm afraid of messing it up, but at least you have the back cover too, so that's an option as well. All right, so his clothing, he's got sort of like this this coat, and he's got a gun. He's got like a cool gun. Maybe something like that. I don't know. Let me look at his gun. I wonder if he has the gun in the comic. I love this. This is cool. I'm sure the gun is like a grappling hook gun or like a knockout gas gun. It's not a real gun, obviously. Oh yeah, it is definitely a grappling hook. So, and he is right-handed, so that would be here. I'm looking at this one. Oh, you can barely see it. What would his other hand be doing? I think we can do like a something like that. And the other thing about sketch covers is you're always in danger of screwing it up. That's just how it is. It's not like regular comics where you have the ability to just get out another piece of paper. You're going to have to try and hedge your bets a little bit. So it's a good idea not to get too ambitious. I might screw it up during the inking. I might screw it up during the drawing. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So it's got Darkwing Duck up here. And if we look at it, I want to match it to about the size of the... That's too big. It'll be about like that size. So down here below, maybe I could use one of my other characters. Which other character would I use? Maybe. Let's fix the eye line. He's got this sort of double-breasted outfit on. One of the Qbert Online students is actually, I don't know her real name. She goes by Iz, which I think is short for Ismeralda or Isabella, probably. But that's her thing, is mostly like the Warner and Disney style animation characters. She would probably be really good at this. She did an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit kind of piece, and I was pretty jealous because that's one of my favorite characters as well. Let's see. Oh, whoops. How old and what issue is that? Oh, of the of Darkwing Duck here. I don't know. This is just last year, 2023. And it's issue 1 of Darkwing Duck from Dynamite. So there were other Darkwing Duck series. I think there might have even been a Star Comics one, or a Disney, like a Dell one or something. Come on, what is going on? I've got this all the way up. And I put it all the way down. One of the things kind of messing him up is I don't think I have his cape right. Maybe his cape was really like up here. I could do like my Frankenstein character, or I could do well, let me think. There's some of my comics that are nearby. I'm spoiled for choice. I could do Slink the Killer, maybe. All right, Slink the Killer. Slink the Killer would fit because he's kind of like a lizard man guy, and so kind of like an animal character. Let's see if I can find Slink the Killer here. Here he is. This guy. No, it's gonna be right on here. It's gonna be on this cover, Tuco. Yeah, I got Comixology as well, and I love it. I like to read at night, and that's been really cool. Okay, so there's my man. I was not as good back then. This is only like last year. So same deal. He's got a cape. He's got what I call the Martian Manhunter outfit, which is the chest cross straps. All right, so I'm going to make him a little bit less. How do I make this look like a more dangerous lizard man? I think I gotta the problem is the 3-dimensionality of the lizard face. This is something that like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles probably should have taught me. All right, let's see. That one kind of worked out. He's got noses. He's kind of alligator-ish. I'm picking this one because I think Evan will recognize the character. All right, so what if we get rid of that? That's closer to what I have. All right, Slink the Killer, based on a D&D character of mine. All right, he's an assassin who uses these hallucinogenic poisons, but he's addicted to his own poisons. Which is called Stargazer. All right, I've got definitely some anatomical issues going on here. Let's try and fix them. Okay, there's 1, 2 cross straps. Right, and he's got the gym shorts. That's a true Silver Age character. If you're wearing gym shorts. I think he has a tail. Hang on. Tuka says, it's great you saved the old digital files. Well, there's plenty of room on there. I did get rid of some things from early on. But in fact, I was looking for them and I found them on the website, on the Q*bert School website. If you look at that video I did, or if you remember, I think you've actually seen it, the before and after Q*bert School. I haven't saved any of those because they're embarrassing, you know, they're messed up, you know, kind of my early work. And I deleted them off of here, although I've got hard copy somewhere, I think. But going back and looking at it was kind of useful. Oh, it's right here. This one. End of the line cutworm. He does not have a tail. I can see how I would draw this completely different at this point. He does have gloves, though. He has gloves and he has these boots, and then there's like these foot wrap things. And of course, he's armed. Tintu do ask, what are your opinions on doors? Well, I think they provide a great opening. A transition from one room to the next, if you will. Is he wearing 70 style shorts for guys that were way too small? Yeah. You remember those? Like the big, they were like billowing. I totally remember those, Tuka. They would be like back here, you know? Like there were kids who went to the neighborhood pool would wear these bathing suits that were just way too big for them. I totally remember that. All right. I think that's not a very dynamic pose. Maybe I should change the arms. Let's change the arms. This is why I'm doing it digital first, is because I actually don't know. Man, if you get right on there and start penciling and, you know, you're going to mess this up. I've left the realm of reference. I should actually Like, we don't want to cover his face because people have to be able to see that part. That's closer to what I wanted for him. But maybe. Oops. It would be kind of cool to do like a big, like just a big, you know, with ink, like sort of a big, whoops, drop in black area like that. Wouldn't that be kind of cool, like an ink? And then, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Slink he's an assassin, so he's kind of an anti-hero. I mean, I consider him to be kind of a good guy. There are like things that he wouldn't do. That's close to what we want, right? Something like that. Maybe just a little bit smaller. That is close. All right, so if the center line of his chest is there, that's where you want the chest bands to cross. Something like that. And then maybe we could reposition his hand too. Like if I give Slink this dagger, I can have Darkwing Duck's hand up here. But I want to make sure that that looks, you know, natural as well. Because right now it doesn't. Something like that. And then we could have like a funny caption, you know, some speech bubbles or something. So the sketch cover variants, they're not hard to get. This one, you can see it came from mycomicshop.com. I don't know if you can see that over there. This is actually, it came from my friend Rocket Ship Evan. And he actually also sent me a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one too. Especially the newer comics, we're talking about $5 somewhere in that realm. And I plan on sending it right back to him once I successfully do it. So hopefully I don't screw it up. Let's see. So I won't have to do the, I could do a little bit of that. I want to change the expression to be even more snarly. Something like that. Okay. All right, I got a pencil. Let's see what we can do. This might be a huge fail. I'm a little worried about it, but I'm not too worried about it, I guess. I'm a little worried about it. Slightly worried. That's a sharp pencil. Okay. For beginners in traditional inking, do you think a dip pen or a fountain pen is better? I want something that's easy to clean. Okay, so the dip pen is 100 times better for traditional inking and keeping it clean. Fountain pens are very messy. The only thing you get with a fountain pen is convenience. You can carry it around anywhere you want. And with a dip pen, you better be sitting down because you're going to have a big open thing of ink, you know, like right next to you. But the dip pen will be way better. I recommend doing both. I actually love fountain pens. I think they're great. And I recommended one to Sideburns. He said he loved it. He said it was one of his favorite things. So pretty cool. I can give you recommendations for individual fountain pens if you want one that's good for inking or, you know. The other thing is there's not a huge amount of flex in a fountain pen. So you're not going to get really nice sweeps with a fountain pen. Learn to do the dip pen. I think it's cool to do. You'll get a lot out of it. All right, so how do we transfer this onto there? Well, we're just going to just try and fake it on there. Let me see if I can get a little bit more light. That might wash it out, though. That's okay. All right, so if we do this character here, I don't know if you can even see it. I hope I don't F this up. If you've been watching me do drawing comics for a while, you know that the way I do it is I do a very rough layer and then I ink over it. And I do a lot of my more refined stuff in the inking. That's much tougher to do, I admit, in traditional than it is in digital. You don't have infinite undo. That said, I'm not against traditional at all. I mean, I know I do most of my stuff. It's purely for convenience because I am not good at scanning stuff, and I have a hard time getting stuff photo readied. His shoulder is up here. Like, this is the shoulder. All right, let's see if we can get the Darkwing Duck character in here. Darkwing Duck has these big kind of cheek things. All right. All right. I'll put some audio on here. All the inks you get to play with. Believe me, I've gone through the rabbit hole of the inks, and I have too many inks. But I will recommend. Okay, so basically, I can tell you a little bit about ink. Ink comes in basically two types. Well, two main types. There's a zillion types of ink. But water soluble and non-water soluble. For inking comics, you want non-water soluble. It's thicker. It's blacker. It goes on more substantially. The water soluble ink though is much prettier. Like if you've ever seen it, there's every color. If you say you're going down the rabbit hole, I guarantee that's what you're looking at. Is all the really pretty inks like the Colorverse ones and Noodler ink. I love Noodler ink. Those are really cool. All right. All right. So how do we do these legs? He's got one leg up like this. And then one leg down like this. Maybe I can even have him swinging on a rope. I don't have him on a rope in the in this picture over here, but what if I had him swing it on a rope? I don't know if that's maybe not. We can pretend. All right, here we go. All right. Now, I'm at a quandary. What to do with the tail of his coat? This is one of the things where I'm going to need reference. When you have... There's his coat here. Let's see if I can find a scene of him doing something similar. I love his ship. Look at that. That's really cool. Okay, action scene. They don't show much. Like it's just this. There's not much to it. Also, they don't make his cape as sweeping as I drew it. So maybe it's just a matter of what is he Porky Pig in it? What's he got going on here as far as pants? See, here's the tough part. No pants. Like if you check him out, he basically I gotta make him a duck from basically from the belt area down. Oh, that's a cool cover right there. Preview pages from Gargoyles #1. All right. So I think it ends way up here. Ooh, I'm going to race right into the purple. All right, let me find. Here we go. Z is here. Hello, Z is here. And the distressed inks. Yeah, those are nice too. Keep it Batman theme for the tail end of his cloak. Well, okay, so the tail end of the cloak is not the issue. It's this jacket. It's like it's Darkwing Duck. So if you look at him, I notice the artist avoids drawing it sometimes, but let's see if I can find one where they drew it, because I don't think I can avoid it. It's just this kind of squareless, roundish thing, there's not much to it. I mean, I do want to do like the Batman sweeping cape. Also, you know what? I don't not put enough action in here on this leg. Like he's coming down here this way. Maybe I switch this leg up. Maybe I could take Slink's arm. Basically, I've turned the body. It's no longer following the digital version if I do this, but it's still pretty good. If I do this, I don't know what I'm going to do with this other arm. See, I did this whole digital sketch so I would avoid having to erase on the page, but All right. All right. Let's keep that as a start, and I'm going to try to do some inking here. So we're going to switch back to getting that visual reference again. Hang on. I think it's in my photos. There we go. Yeah, just come up with your own, or they avoid it for a reason. I definitely think that's the case. Wait, I could turn this off. All right, hang on one moment. I apologize for this. This is definitely on brand for me to be kind of in a screwed up space. All right, let's give it a shot. All right. Now, do I want to go traditional inks or do I want to go with the Mangaka Flex? It's much easier to do. But I don't exactly have finished pencils. Let's give it a shot. Hang on. My ink is crusty. My other option, okay, so this is fountain pen ink. We were talking about ink earlier. This is the thing that's in between both, right? So this is Non-water soluble fountain pen ink. This one's called Diatramentus Document Black. The other main one you can get is Platinum Carbon Black, which is also pretty good, pretty darn good. Let me see if I can find my pen. I got a brush here, and I've got this one. Hang on. And I know I've got a good pen right around here somewhere. Oh, I know where it is. Could it be in there? Not that one. This one's going to be useful. That one's got red in ink. It's a Faber-Castell. This is my good brush. Is this my good brush? This is my good brush. Just looking at what I have available here. There's a Pigma. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Apologies for not looking at the chat. What is the Mangaka Flex? This is a cool pen. You can get this on JetPens. It is a basically it's a it is a felt tip pen, but with a sort of flexible, sort of brushy tip. And it's pretty reliable. However, I think we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start by trying to do this. Let's see if I can do. Do I have any ink in here? I might have. I don't want to have to wash any pens just yet. Has this got anything in it? It's got ink in it. Okay, all right. Well, all right. So here's what this is the way the TWSBI Go works. This is going to give me some problems. So let me move my iPad just in case there's a problem. All right, TWSBI Go is kind of like the cheapest of the TWSBIs, but it's also kind of cool. So the way it loads is it has this big spring thing at the end, and you gotta plunge down, put it in the ink, and then plunge back up. And I think I got to do it a couple of times here. There we go. That's a nice full load of ink here. I'm going to get some paper. The other thing is it might have some dryness to it. So I'm going to get a little thing of water. Ooh, let's see, I got ink on me already. Hang on one sec. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, fountain pens are messier by far than the regular stuff. But we're going to try and mitigate some of that. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, JetPens. Yep. Great website. Like during the lockdown, I was a JetPen super fan. All right, I'm going to use this envelope. Or maybe just a piece of paper. What is this envelope anyways? Oh, it's funny. Oh, well, it's not important. This is going to be my little guard here. And let me bring up a reference. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. I almost want to let's throw down some more light here. There we go. All right. They say inking takes more concentration. I think it's probably true. Please don't mess up. That's what I just tell myself. You'll regret it. These are called feather fingers. If you look up on TV tropes, feather fingers, this is about how you draw duck cartoon characters like Donald Duck and Howard the Duck. Are there other ducks? Darkwing Duck. I'm looking at his collar. I may have done the collar wrong. You know what? I think I did. Maybe a little bit. Okay, so his collar, he's actually more based on the turn of the century, not turn of the century, but the Golden Age Sandman. Donald Duck, yeah, it's the other one, major one. Dip pens are a good, if you want to learn, now you're probably going to end up learning both. I mean, the way I learned is there was a period right after the big lockdown, right? We had the big lockdown where you couldn't work. And then I got invited back to work early. But there wasn't a lot of work to do. So we were kind of like making stuff to do. We were figuring stuff out to do. And then also, they just kind of let me do whatever I wanted to. So I came up with educational videos, and I did other stuff. But also, I learned how to ink at work. And you couldn't bring a whole dip pen. You could have a fountain pen. You could just draw on the scrap of paper. That was okay. All right. Okay, now here's the thing about the cape. It connects to his collar. All right, if you're gonna I think my problem is I made the gun a little bit too big. All right, let's try and do this one. I don't want to mess it up. There we go. Yeah, you can't, like with a dip pen, you can, like those thickened lines, you just do them and very artfully in this one swoop, you know, once you've gotten to a certain level. And it's really cool. With a fountain pen, you're gonna have to like draw the line twice, you know, to thicken it up. Now, how is it split? It does not split. Okay, so it looks like this, kind of. I mean, he's not an especially complicated character to draw. But the cartoon characters like this, they have three-dimensionality, right? And that's like kind of one of their most important things. I saw a pretty good Proco video about this, like where they were showing like on Goofy shoes, even on Goofy shoes, like if you had Goofy shoes, they're not just drawn like this, they're drawn like this. They have this crescent, you know, weight to the line, and that's what gives Goofy a lot of his realism, makes it more believable. All right, now the mask is a blackout mask, so we're going to go ahead and this is not recommended what I'm doing either. I should probably just get the fountain pen out for this or the brush. I'm looking at him. Pencil wise, Darkwing Duck, Bad Cat. Nice to see you. I love your what is it? Fly on the Wall comics. So check out Mad Cat Art. You can see him on Instagram, Fly on the Wall Comics. He does a very Star Wars influenced thing. I don't know if I have his other leg good. I think his leg should be up there. Okay, let me find my... Sand Devil or something like that. It's not Sand Devil. It's frick. It's Desert Bats or something like that. What's your comic called, Mad Cat? Your stuff looks great. I always have to stop and look at it when I see it on my feed. So this is also an interesting trick here I'm going to show you. I'll have to zoom in for it. So when you're doing these desert bats, yes. So you don't have a lot of opportunity to show the three-dimensionality of a cartoon leg like this. So when you draw your shadow, draw it like the curve here, and that will reinforce the idea that there's that it's, you know, a cylinder that's coming up. Oh, I may have messed up because I think his arm is supposed to be in front. Now I'm gonna have to make it behind, looks like. I mean, I could probably get away with putting it still in front. I very much want to black out his cape, but I'm not sure that'll work. I think it will work. But it's one of those things where if you're not 100% sure... I think it'll work. Awesome. Yeah, definitely check out Desert Bats. Very cool. He's like doing the 100 Days of Comics. I was looking at it just today. Let's see. All right, this is Slink the Killer, the Lizard Man. I'm looking at how this is turning out. I'm going to end up in this sort of Rob Liefeld chest area. I'm not careful. All right. Throw in the line. All right, I want to avoid that for a little bit because I think I might be still wet for a while. That's the other thing with fountain pens is they tend to stay wetter longer. And I've got a conflict here. I can't finish his foot until I decide whether it's in front or behind of his other arm. I think it's going to have to be behind. Day 90. We'll keep it going. Keep it going. No reason not to make it 500 days of making comics. Just keep going. All right, so how do I do? I'm looking at my hand. Several Mad Cat art. What? There's only one that matters. Hang on. I'll find it. Mad Cat. It's mad_cat_art. Let me just grab the URL. So hang on. mad_cat_art at IG. All right. All right, we're not smearing. We're not smudging. I'm always afraid of the smudging and the smearing. The ducking and the dodging and the weaving. All right, so if I do it this way, that means it's his left leg that is in front. Oh, I've ignored this. So if I have the cape wrapping around like that, we can't put his arm out there. But that's okay. I can figure out a way to get his arm up here. So if his shoulder's back here, his arm would be right here. And let's do like this kind of pose with the hand. Oh, I'm having internet troubles. Hang on, test. I'm having internet troubles. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, I mean, it's a little bit troubled, but it is what it is. I want to do... so as not to tangent it. Hopefully I'm able to clean up all these, erase all these lines that are bad lines. Getting something kind of clean can be tough. Especially if you're a messy artist like I am. All right, it's like this, and then there's kind of like a long... When we get to the shading, we're going to be covering up some of this stuff with some more black ink. That was not a great hand. But you know what? We're not going to stress about it. We're just going to be fine. All right, let's try and erase some of the stuff around Duck here, Darkwing Duck. Hopefully my ink is dry. Otherwise, we might have to do another one. What are you using in the fountain pen? I am using Diatramentus Document Black. This is pretty good fountain pen ink. It is like most fountain pen ink kind of sucks for comics. Which you might be thinking, that guy's a noob, he's using fountain pen ink, and I kind of am. I think it's on my end too, but I'm not 100% sure. But this stuff is this is made for fountain pens, but it's permanent and it's not water soluble. So it's got the kind of substantial qualities that you need when you're doing art, and especially if you wanted to like watercolor over to do like an ink and wash. Or a line and wash. I should not tempt fate there. So that's pretty good, especially if you do a lot of sketchbooking. I do a lot of sketchbooking, or I used to do a lot more. I have crates filled with sketchbooks, and oh look, that's actually coming up. A lot of times you can just like dab it with this kneaded eraser and stuff will come right up, and it dries fast and it's pretty dark. Now I do have some real ink that I could go over and try and fix this up a little bit more. There are some mistakes I made, obviously, especially around this glove, and this other hand is way bigger. I think we're just gonna live with those mistakes. Just say those are part of the process. I didn't finish this rope. I got to make the rope a little bit longer. But nothing's getting smeared. It's not terrible. It's okay. All right, let's use the Mangaka Flex for a little bit. Where are you? There you are. All right, we're going to do the inside of Slinkscape. With that, I also have some Pitt artist pens, which would be similar Fountain pen. I mean, not fountain pen, but felt tip. Kind of similar effect here. I'm trying to avoid streaking it, so I'm just going to ink all in one direction. I could just get my brush out, though, and do it that way. I think you're allowed a certain amount of leeway when you're doing a sketch cover. Like there's an understanding. There should be some kind of understanding. At least with me, that's the best I can do, you know? We're going to do something similar with Darkwing Duck's cape over there. Yeah, if you fail, you try again. No problem. Paper that's good for ballpoint pen. Almost any paper, really. Your standard printer paper would be okay for it, especially if you want to do the smudge effect. Is really cool. I saw a really cool effect with ballpoint pen, which is shellac ink. You take your ballpoint pen, right, and you lay down your ballpoint pen, right, colors first, and then you throw some shellac ink over it, and it doesn't really affect the ballpoint pen ink, but it basically it sort of helps the paper absorb more marking. All right, there should be like a shadow under the boot. Please don't tell me. Yeah, I probably should have done this part with a brush. Live and learn. Oh, absolutely. My favorite sketchbook. I don't know if I have one close by. Yeah, I do. So I get the ones that are like the Michaels brand. Artist Loft. And these are the perfect kind. The paper is 75 pound, which is 110 GM. And there's nothing in this one. These are $6 and they're gigantic. I don't know if you can see it. Like, this is the comic book, and this is the gigantic sketchbook. They're almost too big because, like I like to do it at work, and I don't want anyone to notice I'm doing it. So I'll get the small size, which is this size. I got anything in this one? No, there's nothing. Well, a little bit. There's some notes, but you know they're all the same pretty much as far as the paper. I recommend those. Or at least they've worked for me. I don't know. I'm not endorsing Michaels or anything like that. What is going on here? He needs a shadow under his arm. Do a little pattern on the rope. Oh, I have a Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby's good too. Hobby Lobby's, it's called Master's Touch. It's almost the same thing. Oh, the Pentalic, yeah, $7. Yeah, I think that's what the Michaels. It's either $6.99 or $7, something like that. It's a great price, and it's the same price for any size sketchbook too, which I think is cool. The Hobby Lobby version is called Master's Touch. I got some good stuff from Hobby Lobby over the years. When I got into oil pastels, that's where I got them. I think he's got spats on his shoes. Am I wrong about that? I guess he doesn't. I thought maybe he had these spats on his, like Donald Duck had spats. Some clothing wrinkles. I think I need to switch to some kind of, maybe I'll do focus lines coming in, something like that. I do want to do this blackout cape. So what, GSM? 110? Yeah, when they go on sale, the $20 ones. 110 is fine. Just your regular grade ones are fine. 75. It'll usually say something like 75 pound. Like it might do GSM or it might do pounds. I don't know if I have a Master's Touch around here, but at hand that I could show you. I use those as well. This is just 110 or 75 pound, and this is fine. This is great for ballpoint. It's good for everything except wet media. If it says good for dry media, as long as you don't have like the crap paper, like the bad paper is the bad paper. That's there's no redeeming it. I'm looking for something to do, maybe the underside of his hat. Do you think I should black out the underside of his hat? I could do it with a brush. What if I use this? Hang on, I'm going to use the same ink I'm using. Let's use this brush. We're gonna do the underside of the hat. I was afraid it might overpower. No. The rest of the page. I think it'll be okay. Uh-oh. He's meant to be kind of a Zorro-like figure. Or the Shadow. I mean, everyone knows Batman, obviously, but a couple of different ways to think of him. Yeah, I think that was a good call. Okay, so let's... That really has to dry for a little bit longer than I've counted on. Practice paper for inking. Same stuff. I would just same stuff. Don't. So this is don't even think about it. That's my best advice is don't think about it too much. Just fill book after book. I could eventually I'll do a thing where I'll show you some of my I've done sketchbook walkthroughs and you see some things that they're looking kind of finished, but when you see all of it, if you were to see my whole collection of them, you would see that there's just scribbles. There's just scribbles in there sometimes, especially when I was doing gesture drawings. I was going on quickposes.com. I wonder if I can do some whips over here. Yeah, there we go. I've definitely got to do scales on his face. This is too thick. Maybe this will do it. Absolutely, Tuka. I'll show him sometime. I will. Because I do have, I think I have, if I don't have all of them, I definitely have most of them. At least since 2019, which is when I started doing comics. I'm wondering how I can make more substantial. Texture of the cloak here. You can always do the pockmark, the Mobius method, right? You do the same thing here to show that it's cloth. I've got some white ink over there, but of course, since the background here is purple, it's a little less useful, or a lot less useful, in fact. Maybe I could make these fingerless gloves. So you can see his claws. All right, if we're going to do that, we're going to definitely have to do the back. The back part. Oh, you know what we could do? We could do a drop shadow behind both characters, like a spotlight with a shadow of them battling. This wasn't a great idea. This is the wrong pen. This would do it. Yeah. Okay, so how do we get a drop shadow? Is there anything in here? I was going to drop this cup, but it's what it's got water in it. Let's see if I can find something that's round. Something like that, or find something round. Let's see if I do that and I just go something like that, maybe. It's pretty close. It's tangenting though. I got to make it bigger. Let's see if I can have a bigger circle. Let me find like a little dish or something. Yeah, it's going to be all black ink. It's definitely going to be all black. There's something on fire over there. The fireplace. Okay, let's check. So, yes. Wood. All right, I don't know if this is too big. Is this too big? It's a bowl. What if we do like this circle? That actually kind of works. Yeah, unfortunately, so Tuco, this is a sad thing about me, but I suck at color. I started to try and learn I'm going to use the mangaka. I tried to learn oil pastels just so I could learn color because I'm really bad at it. All right, we're just going to be real careful with this. There we go. I'm just going to go from here to here. So when I'm doing comics, I only do black and white or black. The bowl for the win, yes. You're saying pastel is bad for learning color? Well, they are oil pastels, so it is like oil. I used to be really good at watercolors. I used to be really into those. But I mean, my watercolors were just like very, they would not amaze anybody. They were very fun for me. I considered them kind of almost like an emotional outburst of, oh, look at that, almost of something. There we go. That's looking okay, all things considered. Let me see if I can pick up. My previous circle was not as good, so let me pick up some of that. All right, so if we have this circle, that's like a spotlight, and then I was thinking is to throw on a drop shadow of both characters, but that might be a terrible idea. Let's see, if I put him here, I could put the rope. Basically, if it's here to here, the rope would be here. Something like that. This would all be blacked out. We'd have some black in the middle here. We might have But would that interfere with his cape here? I'm looking at it. Maybe. Well, how do you determine the page should be balanced composition-wise and ink-wise? So there's a couple of tricks. I think the best one is experience, and in that I'm also saying I don't have the best way of doing it just yet. One of the easiest tricks, of course, you probably know the rule of three, where you try and focus on you divide your page by 3 and 3, and then you try and focus things on there. And I'll show you a couple of examples because we're right at the end. I'm probably not going to get this thing finished, but a lot of times when I'm drawing my roughs, I'm going to try and find a page of roughs here. I think this one's roughs. This one got roughs in it? Yeah, if I take the inks out and I bring layer 2 back. Oh, I've erased the roughs. Never mind. Let's try the next one. No, not that. That's the same one. Wait, was that the same one? It is. All right, so on this one, let's take the ink out and put the pencils back in. Do you see how I've got these crosses right here? So what I'm doing there is I'm trying to get my subjects closer in, and it's any size panel. Like it's a long panel, it could be a long panel, it could be a short panel. But what I've done is I've tried to you divide by 3. Oh, it's hard to see. You divide by 3 in both directions, and you look for these corner points in the middle. And you could do some interesting things with that. There's a really good David Finch video about this. I have kind of I'll just say a love-hate relationship with David Finch, because I think he's an incredible artist, but I don't think he's a very good cartoonist. But he had a really good tutorial about how to do it. You've got your division right here, and let's say you have one of your characters right here. This other one, you can use the whole character like there, as long as you've got these points covered, you can, do all kinds of interesting things. So I would think about that first, like just as a way. And then also, look at a lot of comic art. Like obviously, we're all students of comics. We're students of the book, right? Another way you could do it, you could have one character here, full figure, and another character, full figure. But it's even better to make them different sizes. And that's one of the things you learn in like the narrative art course, is they'll show you things like, make sure that you have different size characters in every panel. And I'll show you an example. In Corbeau, this is a great example right here. I think I might have done the let me pull my ink off. No, I didn't do any grids on this one. But it's not that I wasn't thinking of the grids. The grids were in my mind, right? This one is same one. I don't know if you can see, but it's right at the 1/3 mark right here. And by the way, you don't have to just do the cross points. If you just do one set of grids, one set of lines, let's say the verticals, and you put something 1/3 over, that's a good composition point too. You don't have to do both crosses. You just do the verticals, and say, okay, I'm gonna start stuff over here. It's better at implying movement. All those things. And also just accept that you're gonna do it wrong every once in a while. I do it wrong all the time. But the more you do, the more you'll learn, the more you'll pick stuff up. Now it is 8 o'clock. I have to get off because of reasons. One of the things is StreamYard starts charging you if you go over the time. But we got a lot done today. We actually got a good start on our Darkwing Duck sketch cover. I am going to do a drop shadow for these 2 characters. I think that'll make it really pop. I think it'll look really cool. But I might have to plan it a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. I want to make sure that it doesn't conflict too much with this. No, you know what? It won't. It won't. It won't. Because it's going to be back here. If I do this hat, that'll be fine. I think that'll work. All right. Please like, follow, subscribe. Thanks so much for hanging out. I don't expect you to hang out if don't feel obligated, but I do enjoy your company and your questions. And I would like to see everybody making comics, including you, anyone else out there. Mad Cat's making comics. Tuco's about to be making his comics. Dintu 2 is about to be making comics. He actually made me laugh out loud with a comic that he did, so he's off to a great start. And I will be back again next week, and I'll be doing the little daily streams, but nobody really watches those. That's cool. It's just for my accountability to myself. So, all right. Thanks so much. And I will see you later.